Hey, bitches. Um, are you guys sometimes stuck in a rut when it comes to, your tarot readings? Maybe it's not even about tarot or, whatever form of cartomancy or divination you use, but it can also be stuck in a rut regarding you wanting to do your daily pulls or post every day on Instagram, you just not finding the time, or whatever, or you being kind of bored. I have that a lot, honestly. Especially, like I shouldn't care, but still I do, since the Instagram algorithm like changed a lot. It's very much focused on reels right now because that's what the kids want. And I made a couple way back when and I enjoyed it, but it took so much time. And, I just prefer photography. Um, and sometimes I can get like a little bit stuck in a rut. And what I like to do, and I don't do this often, so this is not something that I do every week. This is something I do at most maybe 4 times a year, but it can be a really great boost to my tarot practice. And that's what I call divinatory play, where I use specific decks that are kind of out of a left field or that are a little bit weird, preferably decks that aren't even necessarily divination decks. You could literally, like, there's literally decks of art cards that you can get that you could use for this. Or Oracle or tarot decks without keywords work really well with this. I'm thinking the ritual tarot, but also the soul cards, or the maybe some of the Scylla Conway stuff, other collage stuff. Martin was talking about a deck called The River that I really need to get. But it works, this method of, because you've already probably seen the title, divinatory play, playing with your cards, works really well with decks that are a little bit more artsy. So, for example, I have here the Renaissance Tarot, great tarot deck, not necessarily the most fun for divinatory play. As well, like I have another one here. This is the Winged Spirit Tarot. Fun, good deck, good tarot deck. Probably not the most fun for divinatory play. So as much as I'm usually like, hey, use what you got, you might end up, wanting to look through your own collection to use stuff. Doesn't mean that it always has to be super expensive shit. You can literally go to any discount bookstore, which is what I do sometimes, and buy a pack of random assorted postcards. You can do amazingly cool stuff with that. I literally have a really cool vintage pack that I use for this. Let me show it, y'all. I mean, I'm not gonna edit this, but I'm just gonna walk over here and get it. I don't know if you can get these internationally, but these are actually really great. These are really neat black and white photograph postcards by Snapshot. This set is called Snapshot. There's multiple sets. I like their black and white photography, and it's by a publisher called Endeavor. So you could also, this literally cost me five euros, and you could. Let me show you some of the cards. You can use basically anything that evokes anything for you, and you could shuffle these postcards and randomly pick a couple, like, ooh, how cool is this one though? Wow, that's epic. So yeah, you could use those. Also, there's a lots of really cool artsy tarot and oracle decks that are not necessarily very expensive. What I'm basically saying is I have two indie decks here, and I don't want you guys to break the bank to do this little assignment. Nor do I want you to get the feeling like you need to have a huge collection. All I'm saying is you might want to steer from the standard. For example, what would work really well, which is exactly what I'm going to do in a couple days, a borderless Thoth. I ordered I already have a copy of the Thoth. I ordered another copy, and I ordered me some Fiskars paper cutters, and I'm gonna finally gonna make a borderless Thoth so I can make that my main client deck as well, because I don't use the Thoth for clients now because it has the titles on the bottom, which sometimes scares people, frankly. I'm gonna make that my main bitch, and you could use that as well because that's just gorgeous. Because if it's borderless, it's very evocative art. So all disclaimers out of the way. I did this yesterday, so I'm gonna be. It was a very nice, spontaneous process, so I'm gonna be recreating it. And it all started with this little deck right here. I already did a little review on these are decks that I decided to add to the mix for several reasons. The How to Be a Moonflower deck is not a divination deck at all. It's more of a activity prompt deck. The reason why I like it so much is, and why it's very usable and also very affordable. Is there a suggested retail price on this? Yeah, $19.95 US, £17.99 UK. So that's very affordable, isn't it? This is a deck that has, really cool, cute statements on one side, which you can choose to use. I did decide to use them. But on the other side, there is really cool art that might evoke all kinds of shit. So for this time, I've decided to focus more on the text-heavy side and use the art as an embellishment. But you can do it both. You can do it both ways. You can also do it the other way around. But this is very usable. So what I did was I shuffled this a couple times, and I just. Am I really going to pretend to redo the whole process when I actually have the cards that I need ready on the side? No. I shuffled this a couple of times and I was like, I thought I was going to be using the Nocturna deck, but no. And I decided that I wanted to, put 4 text prompts down at random and and add 4 art cards also at random. And I didn't know yet whether or not I wanted to use those art cards in any way or whether they were just there. So this is whether they were just there to embellish the picture. So this is sort of live scrapbooking with tarot cards and oracle cards. So immediately I was like, okay, Seek Wonder, that could be a really cute spread tarot card prompt. How can I seek wonder? But also, and I'm gonna recreate it a little bit because I'm gonna reshuffle the tarot deck actually, because I don't think I have those cards at the top of the deck anymore. But this one was easy. I was like, okay, that makes for a really cool spread prompt. But then this one, look for night owls. So that's funny, right? And I am a night owl, total night owl. When I looked on the back of this, it actually literally showed a picture of a couple owls. So I was like, ooh, owls, owls, owls. What sort of spread prompt could I come up with around the owl? So I started Googling a little bit, and I started referencing some books that I have and some animal decks. And very quickly I found out, well, I obviously already kind of knew it, but I was like, let's do some research anyway, because that's what's fun about this. It sparks research. Owls, used to represent fear. So I was like, that's a really cool spread prompt. So how can I seek wonder? How can I face my fear, or what is my fear? How can I challenge my fears? So that's pretty cool. So I got my second spread prompt right there. And then I got this one, write a list of intentions. And I thought, okay, but what intention should I focus on? So that was a good spread prompt. And then go for a night drive. And this one was really cool because this is what kind of sparked the whole end picture. So I thought, ooh, night drive, you know what? I had lots of trouble with this. But it took me straight to this deck, the Prisma Vision Tarot by James R. Eads. And I hope I still have that card up top. I think I might. I do. Oh, yes. Because I immediately had to think of this gorgeous Chariot card. This is probably one of my favorite Chariot cards ever, with the car driving through the rain at night with the headlights, and this card is a mood. So I decided to place this right here, and I thought, you know, why do we go on these night drives? I love driving at night, not on the highway, but on like backwoods, little, you know, unpaved roads, and, you know, through forests and foresty surroundings and shit like that. And I thought to myself, why, what is it in me that likes to do this and that likes this mood? And very quickly I found out that the reason why I like it so much is because it's almost, you know, it's a form of retreating. It's almost like being stuck in a little bubble of you. You know, it's almost like the rest of the world is standing still while you are sort of escaping in this pocket dimension where time seems endless, and you can just be alone and listen to the music you want to listen to and think about the things you want to think about, and have weird deranged thoughts without them affecting anyone, and speaking them out, and, you know, letting them free. And, you know, it's sort of your own little private, it's sort of very hermity, which is funny because the Chariot card is anything but a hermity card. So I thought, okay, how do I create that sense of me time that I so crave? That sense, that focused me time where, you know, you're driving, so you can't do 20,000 activities, but you can do some things, and it's just about you. Apparently, that's a very important topic in my life. And then I had this gorgeous picture right here. So this already looks gorgeous. And if you're you know, someone who journals, and you take pics of card spreads, print them out, put them in your journal, this could be a gorgeous pic. You could even break them up, you know, and you could already put it in there. But I thought, you know, we created all these gorgeous spread prompts. We have a little helper card right here. And then I thought, I don't want to use the rest of this deck. I still have this deck, but this is not a favorite. It just has some really cool depictions, but, you know, this is definitely not a deck that I would save if I were in a, if my house were to burn down. Then I thought, what kind of deck would fit with this theme? With this nightly weird theme, this sort of scrapbooky theme. And then I got this one out of its box. The Hyde Tarot is really, really weird. This deck is bizarre. And I love it. I love it. I'm just gonna redo it because I don't have, because I played so much with this last night. I don't even have like the cards at the top anymore, because Dan Francis, like, he made this deck. He did work on another Majors Only deck that I liked a lot, but I don't think a lot of people liked it, so he never had it printed. But he has a really interesting mind, and I don't know if you know this deck. I don't know if you've seen this deck, but it is really weird. It's a tarot oracle, kind of, where we get this symbol, and then this huge title, and then the corresponding tarot card underneath it, and it's definitely not very on the nose. This requires some thinking, some research, some delving into the guidebook if you want to, but I actually prefer making those connections on my own. And it's this black and white, sometimes drawn, sometimes it's collage, sometimes it's processed photos. The disguise. Oh wow, this looks like a chrysalis. Look at how cool that is. It's all this like different shit that's going on. It's just a really good and cool deck. And I thought, you know what, that especially because this is so colorful and this is black and white, this is going to fit so well and create such a pretty picture. So I was like, yes. So frankly, I did get really bizarre cards yesterday. I didn't really understand it. I have it saved to my Instagram so I can look back and maybe, decipher it. But I can also like redo it and sort of see what other hints the cards might want to give me. So let's see. How can I seek wonder in my life? What can I do to seek wonder? Let's see. Which card I pull? I pulled the Moth. That's really interesting. Page of Wands. I love that. I'm going to put this right here over top a little bit. You could also choose to do it like that. So everything stays visible. I'm going to keep it as it is right now. So this is really interesting, right? Seek wonder, the moth through the flame idea. I like it a lot. Because I think that can be kind of page of wands energy, where we sometimes, where we do kind of need that enthusiastic, studious mindset. But we do got to be careful that we don't get more burned up by the flame, but maybe, living on the edge a little bit more and being a bit more adventurous and, getting out of my comfort zone a little bit would be probably good for me. Because I am very much in an internal world right now. I'm post-op, so that means that they performed a surgery on me and I'm sort of recovering. And it was just it was pretty intense still, especially the narcotics. They're really getting to me. So after my sort of little recovery period, probably should spice things up a little bit more and get out there a little bit more. So that's cool. So then look for night owls. Okay, and that was, interesting as in where does my fear lie and how can I, expand, how can I face that fear a little bit more so it's no longer, how can I face my fears? That's a good, interesting question. But maybe even because honestly, it's a good spread question, but I don't even necessarily know. I know some of my fears, but I would rather be more interested in, what. No, I'm gonna keep it as it is. How do I face my fears? Because something will come up. I'm sure of it. Ooh, we get the sun. This is really interesting. I find this really funny because look at that horse too. It's so pretty. Oh man. That's interesting. My fear doesn't revolve around horses at all. But this is funny. I'm not that big on travel. I'm not that big on exploring. So these are two already really connect. And this is basically literally the cards telling me to get the fuck over myself and explore a little bit more and stop being such an annoying like bitch who always whines about, I get really anxious when I travel, and for some reason I am getting that connection right now. Also, another fear is sort of stepping out into the limelight, which is weird because I do musical theater and blah, 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 blah. So people think I'm very extravagant, and people think I'm loud, and people think I'm opinionated, but I'm the biggest introvert ever. So I'm definitely getting this outward projection vibe here from both these cards. That is something that I just need to do more. I need to not be such a fucking pussy. So that's interesting. So this is already way more clear of a reading than yesterday, and I'm definitely going to check up on how they correlate because I think there's really interesting stuff there. But this already makes a ton more sense. Then we write a list of intentions. So we're sort of looking at what is going to be my most important intention for this upcoming year, even maybe like sort of my motto. Or maybe since like I said, I do this about 4 times a year, each quarter, one time. Maybe even for this quarter, January, February, March. A really important intention for me. Ah, Eight of Swords. That's a really interesting one. Oh, I love that. So this is definitely about, not getting trapped in your mind. Um, so that's a really, 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 really good mantra and intention for me. I won't be trapped by cruel thoughts. I love that. And then for the last one, this is epic, this is iconic, I like this a lot. Let's place this one right here. I want to, because that's the thing about this as well, divinatory play. We can be a little bit like annoying and dumb and conceited, and we can focus on the aesthetics of it all just because we fucking can, like this is about creating a pretty picture with the cards, that bears meaning and resembles meaning, but doesn't necessarily mean that we need to, oh, this is so cool. That doesn't necessarily mean I don't even know where I was. Whatever. I'm not going to edit this, so people are going to look at this and think, what's he blabbing on about? Whatever. Because a card just flew out of the deck, and it's extremely significant to the night drive bit, right? I was talking about that sense of, look at these backs, too. The backs are so stunning. Might even place that right here. I won't, but this is that sense of the nighttime and wanting to be focused on, being in that little pocket dimension. I would even I would even put a DVD here. You can make a gorgeous like spread with books and DVDs and CDs, even if you still have those. I'm old, so I do still have those. I would probably place the horror film Dead End here, which is a really good film, where we basically look at this family that's in this never-ending sort of time loop in their car, which is an oddly comforting horror film. It's really good. And I got the Queen of Cups as a jumper card. So what I kind of want to do is place that right here, maybe. Yeah. Because I think this is relevant to that pocket dimension, because it is very much about, um, it's funny, the Queen of Cups is seen as this sort of loving, nurturing energy, and a lot of people like get mommy vibes from it, but I'm getting secret high priestess vibes from it. Like I'm even more fucking psychic than the fucking high priestess. Shut the fuck up. And it's funny because I do get that sense of focus and me time and relaxation and being in that pocket dimension when I do divination. So that's really interesting. Well, let's pull another card. Ooh, we got death as well. So what this is telling me, this like whole combo is telling me to look, can I get this underneath the statue death? What this is telling me is that we can definitely um, have that focus on ourselves by working with our intuitive gifts and by, you know, actually instead of being in that rut around divination, actually doing it more, but doing it in ways like this creative play, to sort of reinvent ourselves intuitively. And I find that to be extremely fascinating and extremely cool. And I'm going to put this right here. I'm going to put this over top of this because I like it a lot. I'd rather have that there than the bouquet. And then I'm going to put this, where am I going to put this? Do I still have space for that? Oh, of course, I can just put it, let's see. We have tons of space. I can put that right here. Just like that. So you can still see it, you know, that iconic image of that James R. Eads design. And then we sort of have, maybe it can be a little bit more playful here, just like that. So we have a splash of color. Then we have this gorgeous setup. And like I said, we're creating a mood, we're creating a vibe, and for me, the focal point of this whole thing is this James R. Eads card with that car, and I would probably journal about this. I may actually literally do that after this, and I'm not going to film that because this already has been quite a long video. Where I would probably put a picture of this, take a picture of this, print it out, paste it in. You know, like just a square picture, or maybe I'm gonna zoom in on some parts, and I would probably, you know, write down a little bit per spread prompt. I probably wouldn't write down the names of the cards because who really cares? But then I probably would do like some songs, books, movies that kind of support this mood, you know? So if I am ever in that, like this piece is called The Night Drive. When I'm ever in that night drive mood again, where I want to escape to this pocket dimension, I know what to do, you know? I need to get out there, discover new things. I need to not let cruel thoughts trap me. Matter of fact, I actually need to be that hyper intuitive bitch that you know, slings cards, does magic, like does rituals, and I haven't been doing a lot of it. Honestly, like also my magic practice, because honestly, Queen of Cups is like, whoops, I'm ruining it. Queen of Cups is like the ultimate like witch in the tarot for me. And I sometimes feel like I'm the only one who sees that, but you know, she is that psychic clairvoyant divination witch, you know, and I should be doing more of that. And you can even choose to leave all of this out for, you know, this upcoming quarter to look at. You can literally, if you have like a whiteboard on your wall, get some little magnets, put this on there. This is literally sort of, this, no, not sort of, this is literally vision board creating. It's a total representation of me at this point in time and how I feel and what I want to be like and where I want to go to. And that is gorgeous. It looks, I love creating pretty things. And all of that because of this weird as hell, but still very useful, very cool, very thought provoking how to be a Moonflower deck, which is mass market. Doesn't cost a whole lot. It's gorgeous. Also, Katie Daisy, she also did the wild, like if you're looking for something that fits in perfectly with this, she also did the wild offering deck. So you could use that. I might actually order that. But you can do it like your completely own thing. You can, you know, you can add charms, you can add postcards, maybe even add a little Lenormand card here and there, you know, for every spread prompt, a Lenormand card, and then read that as a sentence to encapsulate the whole. I actually have great Lenormand decks for this. The possibilities are endless because you can place layers upon layers upon layers here. It's so interesting. I hope you guys loved looking at this. I love the way this looks. You can even add crystals. What the hell? Like, I'm gonna quit now. Thanks for watching.